Hello, and welcome to the Motivated to Marry show with relationship expert Amy Schoen. I'm your host, Carrie Roldan. The goal of the Motivated to Marry show is to help marriage-minded singles to find their lasting love partner and give them the tools to solidify that relationship, leading them to a marriage and family life if that is their goal. Today, we'll be talking about how many dates it takes to find Mr. or Mrs. Right. So let's get started. Okay, Amy, welcome back to the Motivated to Marry show. So great to have you as always. And I want to jump right into today's big question, which is how many dates does it take to find Mr. or Mrs. Right? And maybe a follow-up, how do I know?
How do you know? Well, I have time frames in my program, my coaching program, but a lot depends on your age, but a lot depends on yourself and how much work you've already done yourself. So, I've had clients who said that, if let's say one client, Robin, she did online dating and she finally got herself in a place where she was ready for the right relationship. She got herself out of a toxic job. She put herself online and then she met her husband. And they had a nice phone conversation, and they were both very motivated. They're both, I think she was in her late 30s, very much wanted a family. She was really clear about that. And so when she met Daniel, and you can see their picture actually on my website. Gorgeous, gorgeous couple. They recognized in one another they were the right people, and they just kind of moved forward, and before you knew it, they were engaged, I think within 6 months, and married within the year at least. But then I have other people, and I even say with myself, I went out with my husband, and I really didn't know, I think he knew more than I did, and I had to spend time with someone, and I had been divorced, and so I was a little bit, wanting to be a little more gun shy and cautious about it all. And so, I had to spend time with somebody. But I think you kind of when you know yourself, and let's say you're at the right age, you're like 35 and over, and you've done a lot of the inner work, then you're going to recognize, and hopefully they're going to recognize. I think I mentioned my client, Nancy. He liked her profile on Match. They met, it clicked, and it just moved forward. And within 3 months to 6, that they were engaged and then married. So, I see this trend happening, and that's really part of the Motivated to Marry model. I want to make sure that people are taking their time and getting to know each other and not missing anything, because I've seen that happen too. But they're going to be, go through the steps they need to go to get to know someone and get to know their family, if they have other family members or maybe even children, and then but then I think people just, they say, I have the 6 signs that somebody's the right person. And one is there's a feeling of home. I felt like I knew my husband, and people don't understand this until you actually go through this experience. And so there was really a feeling of comfort and home and understanding. And we grew up in very similar backgrounds. We're both from New York. And, we're both Jewish. And so there's kind of this similarity. And I didn't have that with my first husband, actually. And then, we just, we're there's a flow. We get each other. We laugh. We get each other's jokes. We can be silly together. And the another sign is that people start acting like a we, not a me. They start thinking of you and how you're going to fit into their lives, and they really want to know more about you, and they want to know what makes you happy. And so if they're so concerned about them and getting what they need and getting, then that's not a person who's easily going to be in a relationship. If they're always looking at, well, what am I getting from it? It really has to come from a we place. So those are most of the 6 signs. I don't have all of them out there, but that's a good chunk of them. And so I think, what I hear again is that when someone knows themselves well, and this is kind of the motivated marry model, and the other person's done some work and they know themselves well, that when they meet, there's like this recognition and there's like a synergy. And then the people just kind of start moving forward, and they're going to take themselves down from the online profiles. They're not going to really look to date other people, and they're going to put their time and attention into each other to see where it's going to lead.
Ooh, so what I'm getting at is the answer to how many dates does it take very much depends on where you are in your internal journey, and of course where the other person is too. But you've mentioned several times about when you're at a place of readiness, when you've done the inner work. So my question for you is actually about that. So someone who feels like, okay, I want to get married. I want to find the right person. I don't know if I've done all of the inner work. Is that a good person to come to find you and to start working with you?
Oh, definitely, yes, because and we can see what you know, and a lot of people think they know their values, but when they go through my process and I do a very in-depth values clarification, people really know their values, and they don't never looked at them in this way. So it's really a way of describing what's important to you, to the point where I get about a dozen to 2 dozen like core values that a person has. And some of them are your personal values, and some of them are relationship values. And those are the ones you have to focus on. You have to know your relationship values so you can have your radar up, and I call it your dating radar, and you can focus it on the right person and put it on your online profile, and you're looking at the right things. Like, for instance, I have a personal, value around being a creative and independent entrepreneur. And that's a work value. And I like to work independently. I like to create these coaching programs. I've written books, and, I'm doing this video. But my husband doesn't have that value, actually. He's in IT. He really does not have that value. I don't need my partner to have that value. What I do need is them to support my value, to really appreciate me for that value. But you're not going to find a clone of yourself. So you need to know which ones to focus on and which ones are really, I don't need to be with another independent creative entrepreneur. That's not, important. What's important is that we have the same relationship values and that we see relationships in the same way.
Oh my goodness, Amy, illuminating as always. I just love it. I love that every question that I'm asking you in this series that we've been doing together, there's always a deeper answer, right? So many of us, I think, as we live in this fast-paced online world, we're looking for the short answer. We're looking for the don't marry him unless you've been on at least 100 dates, or don't. And what I'm getting from you is just that it is always about each person's individual needs and really where they currently are. So I'm so appreciating the conversation, and I just want to make sure that I give you an opportunity to steer people in the right direction and send anybody who is watching or listening who is feeling like, yes, that's me, I'm motivated to marry, I'm ready to take this next step. If you could take them to your 7-day e-course, because I think that's a really good starting place. So can you let them know where to find that?
Sure. They can go to my website, motivatedtomarry.com, and you'll see it right there on the homepage. And just, sign up. It's simple. I know you get a lot of emails, but these are the things that are really going to make a difference for you. It only takes 2 minutes a day to read. I've given you a little synopsis, and then if you really are interested in learning more and doing more of the inner work and the work to get out there and meet that right person, then we can explore that at a later date.
So Amy, I just want to thank you again for being here and for being willing to do this series with me and talk about some of the common programs, some of the common problems that so many singles, really motivated to marry singles out there, are having. So you guys, again, head on over to motivatedtomarry.com, grab your 7-day e-course, and get yourself started on the right path. So on that note, you guys, thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Carrie.